Internet Dwellers, and welcome back to Disney Top Shelf Animation. Oh, guys, it's been a little bit for us, and I forgot the title.
Oh, jeez. Can I try?
You know what, guys? For episode 27, TC is going to do the intro. TC, take it away.
All right, here we go.
Okay, good.
Here we go.
And you're going to get... Okay, here we go.
Yep. Hello, Internet... Oh, Jesus. Hello, Internet Dwellers, and welcome to the Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library Podcast. I am TC DeWitt. With me, as always, my beautiful, talented, well-spoken, gassy co-host.
That's pretty much true.
Jeff Bell. Jeff Bell, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, TC. And you know what? If you continue, I should never have given you the power because I don't think I'm going to get back the show next week. I think next week it's just going to be TC doing the entire show.
No.
I will not be here.
See, I tried to do that bonus episode alone, and though I did
people liked it.
People liked it, but it was weird. It was weird recording by myself.
I listened to it on the plane ride out to California. That was enjoyable.
But speaking of taking weeks off, we are back after our week off. So thank you for everyone returning. We apologize for that last minute change in the schedule. But for future reference, we have some bonus content ready for you guys the next time we have to take a week off. And I'm plugging it right at the top of the show here. I'm glad. Because we missed last week, this week we are offering you 2 pieces of content. I guest starred on the Technophiles podcast. A friend of ours, Dave Geisler, who we've worked with on many projects. He invited me to be on his show, and we did. He's in between seasons right now, so as a little bonus between season content for him in conjunction with Top Shelf, we did some Let's Plays of some Super Nintendo games, some Super Nintendo Disney movie games. Ooh. So right now, as you're listening to this, if you are disappointed we didn't give you content last week, there's some bonus content this week. You can go listen to David and I play Pinocchio on the Super Nintendo.
Also, just for the record, this is the first time that I've heard of any of this, so this
Surprise!
is all news to me, guys. TC, are you dealing with other popular podcasters behind my back?
No, I'm baby, please, baby, come on, baby, don't be like that, baby.
I don't think I like this at all.
You know what, Jeff? I think you've been so busy the last 2 weeks, you forgot I did tell you I did this.
You know what? You might very well have. And you know what? It's David. I'm okay with it because it's David. I fully support David, so that's fine.
It's all
you win this time, David. I think he listens.
What did? Oh, he does. He does. What are we bringing the folks this week, Jeff? What is the nature of the beast here?
We're going to switch back over to how the show usually works, which is me mumbling my way through and TC saving it every bit of the way.
It's not mumbling. It's sultry.
Well,
it is.
I'm this close to talking like Jessica Rabbit. I'm not thinking the actress's name. I apologize.
Hepburn.
Off the top of my head. Thank you. Is it Hepburn? Nah, I don't. Anyways, we watched the 1988 animated film. They're always going to be animated, but I like saying that.
It's true.
Oliver and Company, which... I did not know. Okay, you know what the funny thing is that once, and I'm going to come back to this. We're going to talk about the cast a little bit about this movie, just like who they got for what parts in the film, and your opinions and my opinions regarding this. But once Why Should I Worry started playing, I went, yeah, that's like every 80s Billy Joel song I have ever heard. Yeah, like because it reminds me of it just reminds me of the songs that he was doing around that exact same time. I wonder now if I've actually heard him play that live. I feel like I have.
There's a very good chance you have. David, who the Technophiles David mentioned that Why Should I Worry from Oliver and Company is on his workout playlist to this day.
And it's a good song. It's a very good
song. And though I have seen this movie before, the most exciting thing for me is when the movie started and the dulcet tones of Huey Lewis started singing. I'm like, oh, is this Huey Lewis? Big capital letters in my notes. Is this Huey Lewis?
That is funny enough. That is my second note. Is that Huey Lewis singing? Oh man, yeah. I had no idea. Like once I heard Huey Lewis singing, I went, well, that's not that's not Billy Joel yet.
No,
but
not
okay.
yet,
And like
no.
I googled like soundtrack listing, and I was reading the wiki and all that stuff about it, and how the idea being that they wanted a handful of songs. They weren't written by the people who performed them, but they were written to be sung by like big name artists. So basically, they could try to not cash in on the popularity, but it's like, hey, we got a lot of big name musicians singing songs on our soundtrack and our movie. So
it's not the
and
first
it's a nice
time.
way to start it.
It's not the first time that Disney has done something like this in using. You had the sisters during the hashtag package films. So it's and having someone like Bing Crosby do Sleepy Hollow, like it's not out of their wheelhouse to do something like this. Although this movie feels so 80s.
Oh,
because
it does.
Because of the and you call them big names. I mean, yes,
big names
yes.
for the 80s.
Billy Joel still sells out Madison Square Garden like monthly, so I guess yes,
consecutively
he's a big name. But like, it's just funny because this movie is unbelievably dated.
Well, let's see here. Who are some of the people that sing songs? We have Huey Lewis. Okay, yep. Billy Joel. Okay, yeah, he still is performing. Bette Midler. Yeah, she's just classic '80s. That song was written by Barry Manilow.
Oh boy.
So it's like, what are you talking about? You got a little bit of you got a little bit of '80s in that.
It's just one of those dated scenarios where it's like. Yikes! Yeah, this is. But Jeff, you have not seen this movie before. This was your completely brand new experience for you.
I have never seen this movie, but it's so weird because watching it, I kept thinking I have seen this movie, but I haven't. I absolutely have not. I know I've seen. Because I think it was like they did like I think when they released it on video or re-released it in theaters or something like that in like the mid '90s. You know what? It was released to video. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was released on video in '96. I remember seeing commercials for Oliver and Company like coming on video. Like I remember that because they always played Why Should I Worry? That's the song they played. And them like strutting down the street. That's what I remember. I think that's what I remember of this movie, not necessarily ever seeing this film.
Right. And that's it doesn't surprise me because they really not Great Mouse Detective. This in itself was a beginning of the marketing era that we know Disney to this day. This movie did set a lot of standards for what's to come. As much as Great Mouse Detective was the hints of the Renaissance, right? You could see some animation technique and some performance technique and storytelling technique and just overall production. Oliver and Company, if this movie can be cited for anything, it's that this started. I mean, McDonald's tie-ins. This movie has product placement.
I know. I made a note of that. I was watching the movie going, oh, look, there's an ad for Coke. Oh, now there's one for Kodak. Oh, now there's one for McDonald's. What is going on? Very predominantly placed product placement.
And now that could just be because they set it in modern day 1988 New York City. That it's just because of that you therefore have that free advertising for Coke and for what have you, but
that last shot of the movie when they pull up away from Times Square, I'm like, this is just a still frame of every like big name company in America at this moment in time.
It really stood out to me because this is. You could say the package films were set in a modern day, but they didn't feel inherently modern day. This is the first movie set in present day. When it was released, it was set in the present day that it was released. We have not seen that in any other Disney movie up to this point.
Because I was a little confused at first. I was like, is this the first one? Is this the first movie? And I corrected myself. And I'm like, was this the first movie that took place entirely in like a major U.S. city? Like a recognizable major U.S. city. I know Dumbo took place in Florida, I think, supposedly.
Yeah, they trekked around the map, the poorly drawn map.
Poorly drawn map, where apparently Wisconsin is just, I don't know, there's a big glob in the north.
Blah.
But like, blah. But then I realized, like, oh no, because like The Rescuers takes place in New York. But The Rescuers was not a modern film, was it?
No, I don't.
Was The Rescuers more of a 50s and 60s era?
I do feel like, I guess someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think Rescuers was set more in the 70s, like not present day for when it was released. But then again,
Okay.
you know what? Now that you mention it, maybe Rescuers was modern day.
I would though. I would argue though that watching the Rescuers feels further removed from the present day,
right,
from when it was released at least, than this one. This movie does. This movie feels like, oh yeah, that's the late 80s. I don't know if that's because I was around, like I was around in the world at that point. Granted, I was 4 years old when this movie came out, but still, like I recognize things in this movie where I'm like, yeah, that still is kind of like New York.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe the Rescuers, because I realized that the 80s was still in that period where New York was kind of a crummy city.
Yeah, it was in the transition from the red light district to the tourist trap that Times Square is now. Thank you, Mayor Giuliani.
And now this film does, however, because I mean they do go into Times Square, even if it's just briefly. It does. This movie feels like they're trying to paint a nicer, no pun intended, paint a nicer image of New York than maybe it was at the time. Because I've seen a lot of. I mean, I grew up watching 80s movies, a lot of live action movies, and a lot of them took place in New York, and they all just felt dirty and grungy and crappy. I mean,
yeah, well, that's New York for you.
Yeah, you know, and I'm not saying it's not like that. I'm also not saying it is like that. But any big city is going to be like that. Hey, the city I live in, which has got 30,000 people, has kind of questionable areas in it. That sounds wrong. It just means like it's old, dirty like areas.
Yeah, it's the sheen of the fantasy sheen of Disney movies is in a sense lifted here because it does have the dirtiness when you look at the Sykes, the way he smokes, and that green filthy look to him, and the docks, and there's a grime to it, but it does also have that sort of touched up pseudo reality. But this, I keep saying it, this movie is so dead. The music is so 80s. The title cards are so 80s. I mean, hell, I know. Even capitalizing on 1989 New Yorkers with a cast like Billy Joel and Bette Midler, like those are 80s, late 80s New York icons, I guess.
Question mark? We are of course forgetting Cheech Marin. I know he's not New York, but I got excited because I didn't realize Cheech Marin was in a Disney movie prior to The Lion King.
Prior to The Lion King, I forgot as well, and I'm wondering. I kind of was on the fence on this. Is he playing a stereotype, or is he just playing? Like, is he stereotypically bad, or is he stereotypically realistic? You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't decide. It's Cheech, and I've seen Cheech Marin in so much stuff that I'm like, nah, he's just playing to his character type. Like, this is him, and
it's just who he is.
Yeah, but all the dogs play archetypes in their little gang, so I don't think there's anything offensive about it.
Oh no. And the thing is like watching it, I was just like, well, yeah, that's exactly the part that I would have expected Cheech Marin to play in any animated film. Kind of just that type of character. Not it being any kind of stereotypical reason. Just, you know, this was the 80s. He was still coming off of Cheech and Chong, obviously, like after all those years, and it's like, well, yeah, that's exactly who he would play. He'd play a little kind of just yippy, you know, hey man, they're going up, man, come on, like that character. It's pre his days on, was it not Law and Order, Nash Bridges,
and, oh like, my god.
Well, and you know, when he actually did do non-Cheech and Chong TV shows and programs.
But you've touched on something here. We've kind of delved in this area here. They cast these adult icons. Cheech Marin is not a kid's performer. He you know, he kind of retroactively became so with Lion King and this, but Bette Midler and Billy Joel, these aren't names to put kids in the seats. These are names to hopefully get the adults in the seats. Which, and I want to get into this a little bit later, but this is just part of that. This is part of the Katzenberg Eisner era. That a decision like this to try to capitalize on. I mean, hell, even Dom DeLuise. Come on, Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit. Like this is
no kid is gonna know who Dom DeLuise is in this movie.
This is Burt Reynolds' sidekick here, and and now actually, I thought Dom DeLuise it was neat to hear him in a Disney film, but he had only done one Don Bluth film before this. So he's known for his Don Bluth roles, but he hadn't.
But this is and it's crazy because he doesn't even sound like Dom DeLuise to me when I was listening to it. Like I know he was because I know he played Fagin. But it's like it didn't sound like what I always know of Dom DeLuise. And I don't know if it's just because I grew up watching, the like obviously a lot of the Mel Brooks movies and a lot of like those types of films where he always played the over the top kind of crazy. I can't even describe how he played his character, but
for his era, he was a very Chris Farley type.
Right. And like I don't know if maybe that's who I'm used to. I'm used to that Dom DeLuise. So to hear him give, and this is going to be insulting to perhaps some of his work, but to have him give like an actual performance that's not the over the top comedic guy, an actual serious role.
Yeah,
it was a nice change.
I don't think that you're insulting him by saying that, because this was a dream come true for him. This was something that he dreamed of doing throughout his career, much like Vincent Price with playing Ratigan. Dom DeLuise, this was a fulfillment of something he'd always wished to do. So he gave it his all. He did make it more of a performance than maybe he did in some of his more, we'll call them coke-fueled performances. But he
what are you talking about?
He was allowed to ad-lib much of his dialogue that they ended up using. And yeah, there is an interesting element to his performance. I honestly think that he and the voice actor who plays Sykes have the strongest performances in the whole film. They're the two. I mean, Sykes is the villain.
Oh, is the villain, and that's that was Robert. I don't know. I can never remember how to pronounce his last name. It's like Logia or Lagia. Everybody knows who he is. A, by his voice, and B, if you've ever seen the Tom Hanks movie Big.
Yeah.
Or Independence Day, or Scarface. Come on, any of those works, okay, guys?
He's a famous character actor, and he's one of those guys like, oh, that guy. Yeah. It's what Philip Seymour Hoffman was and John C. Reilly were before their careers really took off. Like, oh yeah, that guy.
Right. That guy. Oh yeah, I've seen him in like 100 things. Yeah, and it's because he literally was like in hundreds of things for the longest time.
Their performance, both Sykes and Fagin, so Dom DeLuise and Sykes' voice actor, they gave the best vocal performance, and Sykes has the best animation in the whole movie. Yes. I think his character work, like his design work, and it's interesting because they really did ground this film into a reality. But when he starts going crazy bananas near the end, when on the subway tracks, it's reminiscent of Cruella de Vil, where she was suddenly like fiery eyed and doing wild animated takes. It's
like, where did that come from out of this character? His character was kind of grounded in reality to a point, and then all of a sudden went completely bonkers.
It's not entirely against the inconsistencies of this film overall, if I'm being honest.
Oh, no, not at all. I would like to say, though, the movie threw me for a little loop. Since we were talking about Sykes as the bad guy, it threw me for a loop for a while because going into it, again, I didn't know Sykes was a bad guy, or was a character in the film. Mm-hmm. So I'm going into it, and the character that Dom DeLuise plays, Fagin, I was like, oh, is he, because it was kind of leading this way, I'm like, is he the bad guy of this? Are all of our kind of like our Dodger and Tito and all them, I'm like, are they all kind of the bad guys? Is that where we're going with this?
Well,
it threw me for a loop a little bit until then Sykes showed up and I went, oh, so they're all more like morally gray. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily good guys, but at the same time, they're not bad guys. And that Sykes is the opposite end of the spectrum.
Right.
Sykes is the villain, and then Jenny and her butler are like the good guys, and then Fagin and Dodger and the rest of them are just kind of in the middle of like, well, we're we're trying, we're stealing stuff, but it's for to keep us alive and all that sort of, and that all of that, rub nub, whatever.
Rub nub.
Rub nub nub.
Well,
nub, nub.
It's like Dodger's an a-hole, man. I
know.
Billy Joel did fine with the work he had, what he was working with. He's not an actor, okay? Like
no.
he performed his lines fine. In fact, look up any behind the scenes footage or photos of Billy Joel. He's wearing his white T-shirt and sunglasses for everything.
Of course, course he is.
Everything. But Dodger is a jerk. Like I don't. He's not like a cool guy. He's a smarmy jerk of a guy. To be honest, he has the cool guy attitude.
Yep.
Of a lot of DreamWorks movies, which again is the Katzenberg effect here, is what I'm going to call it. This movie does not feel like a Disney movie. I know we've said that about Disney movies before, but this does not feel like a Disney movie. This feels like Katzenberg pushing a different for what he thinks animation should be. It's modern day. It's hip. It's cool. Everyone's too cool for you. Right?
Yeah.
Like that feels very DreamWorksy.
Right, and also meanwhile pulling pulling celebrities and those big name people and actors and such that he remembers maybe from his childhood in some cases, and going, yeah, we got to get them in this movie because that makes sense to have that character or this actor and this musician, and it's like, but the kids don't listen to them. But it's like, no, it's cool. The kids love these people.
We'll delve into the history since we've been touching on this era behind the scenes quite a bit, but the characters aren't likable. I mean, there's elements that's like, oh, that's neat. Penny I like. Obviously, she's a sweet little girl, but
and the opening scene with Oliver being left alone in the box, and the rain destroying the box. It
took us almost 20 minutes, Jeff. It took us almost 20 minutes to name and discuss, we're going to talk about him now, the title character of this film.
Yeah, I know we kind of skipped entirely over Oliver.
I think that says something about this movie, okay? Is Oliver...
He's not a main character.
He's not the main character. No, he is not the main character. For 20 minutes, he just sits and watches. He is completely ineffectual as a character, and this is just poor screenwriting.
Well, and if you think about it, look at what happens with this character. He gets a happy ending and he goes away, and the rest of the cast basically bring him back to the movie.
Yeah,
because they go after him to bring him back.
It's a very cute opening. Yes, seeing him in the box and like, oh, I'm a kitty. Why won't anyone adopt me? But yeah, he gets his happily ever after. And you're right. Just when I think I'm out, they suck me back in. Like, I was happy. Why'd you bring me back? And then Dodger would be like, fine, man, leave, get out of here. That's right. Walk out the door. There's the door. I don't care.
That's a spot-on Billy Joel impersonation.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's not my Black Cauldron guy, but
that's true. Which was still pretty dang spot on.
Thank you. So where I said Sykes and Fagin were the best animated characters, I think the best vocal performances, we cannot ignore the fact that Bette Midler rocked Georgette as the character. As her character. So much so, Georgette to me stands out in this whole film. It might be because of Bette Midler's performance, but I think of this whole film, Georgette is the Disney character. She has the showstopper. She sings like a Disney villain. Like in a different version of this script, when they could figure out who the hell the main character was and who the bad guy was, Georgette and Bette Midler's performance of Georgette and the animation of her and how she's written, she is a very Disney character. Much in the library we've seen so far, and much like characters we'll see in the future, she stands out to me.
She stood out, and when she showed up, again, this is my constant confusion as to who the bad guy was in this film. I went, wait, she's the villain? Is she the bad guy? Because she doesn't want Oliver around, but then she kind of all of a sudden turns as well, and I was, but who? Pick one bad guy.
Pick a lane
and stick with it. Oh, so bad.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I do know that there are people do have a soft spot for this movie. People do have fond memories of this movie. We are entering an era, Jeff, where most of our listeners will have grown up with the films we are discussing. That's something that we're going to have to be aware of as we're discussing the movies coming up. These are movies that we will have specific nostalgia for because we will have seen them when they came out. I didn't see Oliver and Company in theaters. I don't remember seeing this movie at all until I remember the commercials like crazy. But
right.
I don't know when I first saw this. It was within the past 10 years is when I finally sat down and watched this movie. But I understand that there is a love for this movie, and there are some cute elements to this movie. But in the grand scheme of things, of the dog and pet movies, the animal movies that Disney has made so far, this really is one of the weakest. And I'm kind of like jumping way ahead in the conversation, but it's worth pointing out now that this movie has a lot of weak points in it, and that's super disappointing. I mean, in its original conception, it was meant to be a Rescuers sequel. I don't know what the Rescuers sequel was going to be, and they eventually moved it to Rescuers Down Under, which we'll get to in 2 movies. But
right,
I mean, help, Penny, Jenny, come on,
right, and they're basically kind of the same character-ish.
Yeah, they
less.
even look alike. Yeah,
right. I like to think in the back of my head that it is the same character. That after the events of the Rescuers, she went on, got a name change, and continued to live in New York without aging for another 10 years.
Witness protection.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, probably from Sykes. What if Sykes is actually the former husband of the lady from the rescue, Madam? Oh my goodness, everybody, we broke this one open!
Nope,
I like this idea.
I do not prescribe.
Subscribe?
Prescribe. I would prescribe
to your nonsense.
But after the success...
Also, quick second, TC, for a split second there, the way you were going, I thought you were going to ask me, where do I rank it amongst all the movies? I thought you were leading into it. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Like a half hour into the show.
Exactly.
No, we still have much to discuss, because right now I am leaning towards these negative elements of it. I am touting the positive of it. I think Bette Midler does a great job as a Disney villainess, as a Disney. She feels very Disney. I think the voice acting from Dom DeLuise, I mean, his ad-libbing, being a forerunner to Robin Williams for what we will see with the genie in Aladdin, being this forerunner of trusting a performer to spit out enough good stuff that you can build a performance around him. And the climax of this movie, the animation of the chase of getting on the subway tracks and Sykes smashing the window with his fist, and there is some pretty solidly cool elements. This is a subtle thing, but it's a detail that I appreciate. When Sykes first shows up, Fagin breaks the mirror off of his car. Remember that? He breaks the mirror and he falls into the drink. At the climax of the film, when he shows up in Fagin's office, he touches the model and breaks the same mirror off.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. That is the type of detail that spread across an entire film makes a film stand the test of time. I'm not saying this film is standing the test of time just by that respect.
Nope, that's it. That was the sole reason it's standing the
test. People will forever remember this because a mirror got broken.
A silly little mirror gag. Well, I do want to talk about, we are, like you said, we are kind of talking a little bit more about the negative side of the movie, but I do want to point out the fact that this was the movie that started using a lot more CG in it.
Oh yeah, all the cars and a lot of
the buildings, like the whole train, like basically the whole train sequence, or on the L or whatever you want to call it, like that whole subway sequence. Like most of the vehicle on that was all CG. I mean, it doesn't go without like being noticed. It's not like seamlessly integrated into the animated portion of the film, or like the hand drawn stuff, but. It's fascinating to see, like, we went from The Great Mouse Detective, which had, what was it? Oh, it was the clock tower sequence.
Right, the finale, yeah.
Right, and then you're going to this movie where it's like every car that passes by and that they hop on and they drive in, it's like it's all, like, it was all CG, and how you can kind of see, like, oh yeah, the technology is getting a little better. It still looks a little fake compared to what a hand-drawn would have given you. I'm not sure a hand-drawn would have gotten you more realistic. Does that even... My head just hurt because
it would have blended. It would have blended together better, which is often a case where animated movies utilize CG and hand drawn. It doesn't quite mesh, and there are moments in this where it doesn't mesh very well. But there are moments where the CG and the hand drawn animation blend together pretty darn seamlessly.
Right. I was just going to ask you if the CG was distracting at all. Like, did you go? Oh, look, CG car. Like, were you ever at that point with the movie?
It didn't jump out for me in that respect. What did jump out for me is that this is a less refined animation style. It's not the Xerox sketchy style that we saw in the early '60s that we got with like Sword in the Stone and 101 Dalmatians, because they made that work for their style. There is an unrefined element to this animation in general, and I think that's due in large part because Katzenberg said, movie a year. We are releasing an animated film a year from this point on. And that is a tall order for a company to pump movies out. When you pump movies out like that, things are going to be sacrificed, whether it's the animation or it's the story or the performances. It's the difference between wanting to make money and wanting to make art. And the animation, the hand-drawn, or the CG didn't jump out at me at any particular moment. I was like, oh, geez, I get it, guys. That's a computer-generated image. What jumped out to me more was the less refined look of... Because really, compare Great Mouse Detective to this, and you would think Great Mouse Detective was the newer film. Because it's
right, like
it's cleaner.
Because it's cleaner and it looks more refined to it almost look like they spent a little bit more time on it than they did this one.
Yeah. Huh.
I get that. I get that.
I mean, how about you? Did the CG jump out at you?
It's hard for me to say for a fact. I know there was definitely some of it that did blend really well, but it did. Just knowing, after having seen all the movies we have, and knowing they did use CG in the film, I didn't know it to what capacity. I just happened to have read that they were using it, because they're like touting it like it's like 11 minutes worth of this movie was CG, whereas like the Great Mouse Detective was just that scene,
right,
or just those elements. There was a couple of them that I went like, oh, okay, another car CG, all right. Them talking about, though, apparently like some of the skyscrapers and the buildings are CG, and none of that stuff stood out to me. So I don't really know in what capacity that is supposed to be computer graphics. If it is, okay, that they did a great job at mimicking a hand-drawn style, because that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I might have to look in a little more digging, or do a little more digging to see exactly what was CG when it came to the buildings. But it was never distracting, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just more of okay, look, they're doing more of it. And I feel like they've either tapered off a little bit as to how much they use as these movies go on, or they just did a better job at making it match the rest of the film.
Yeah, I'm curious as we move beyond this film and CG does become more prevalent, how well it's aged, because some of these movies you haven't seen, some of these movies I haven't seen in many years, and the more scrutinizing eye that we have as a modern film watcher might be, oh boy, that's really, carpet doesn't look good at all. I mean, that's right. Guessing at this point.
I know. Please don't remind me about how carpet might look when we get to Aladdin.
He'll
Please
look
don't.
Great. He'll look great. He'll look great. I swear. But it's not to say that they didn't put detail work and really put a lot of effort into this film, because they did. I don't want it to make it seem like I think this is a sloppily put together movie in general, because they even going so far as the animation team. There's always, like with Bambi, they brought actual animals in to study, and there's movies of the past where they've done something to figure out how to make an element work in a film. Like with this, the visual referencing that the animators used was going throughout New York City with a camera 18 inches off the ground to get an idea of a dog's eye view. That's really clever. It's a simple technique, but it's a technique that worked in this film in terms of its perspective. Appreciated that.
Right. Well, and it did. It they could have faked it. They really, honestly, could have faked that point of view and just went, well, I kind of think it looks like this. But the fact that they took that time to get that resource material just shows that they did care about doing something, right?
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. It makes me sound like I just absolutely hate the entire film. Not the case. Not the case, guys.
Yeah,
don't get sad. But yeah, no, I do like when they do that sort of thing, and it does. It does. It feels like New York. It looks kind of like what I would expect New York to look like from that point of view. And they did do some research, which I guess cool. Sorry, guys. Like I have like a little to say about this particular film.
Well, let me jump on some stuff here. So if I can, so Dom DeLuise actually passed up being in Land Before Time to be in this movie. So he said, man. "I'm sorry, Don. I know you, Mr. Bluth. I know you and I are buddies." But I need to go do this Disney movie. I can't pass it up. And he passed up being in Land Before Time to do this. Now, I don't think this would happen today because you would not want to scavenge the box office. Land Before Time came out the same day as Oliver and Company.
Oh, man.
Hey, Don Bluth went head to head with the mouse with Land Before Time.
Why? Oh, wow. I mean, that's Don Bluth.
Yes, and
showing
it outgrossed Oliver and Company by a long shot. Because Oliver and Company, and obviously I don't want to get in here and be like, here are the numbers and blah blah blah. But I think it's important to point out that the upstart that was Don Bluth that went off to form his own company managed to defeat a Disney film. This is the only one that he was able to do in his career was Oliver and Company, because from this point on he went face to face with the Renaissance. So sorry, buddy, you were doomed for failure from the get go here.
Your time has come at this point.
But before that, actually, another animated film had defeated a Disney film, which was the Care Bears. We didn't mention this in the Black Cauldron, but the Care Bears movie outgrossed the Black Cauldron. Come on, guys.
That is so disappointing. Like, I'm sorry, this movie about fluffy, happy bears that all do weird powers from their stomach, that beats Disney. Huh, yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess do the comparison real quick in your head. Happy, fluffy animals that can sell toys.
Right.
Dark, depressing demons.
Well, to be honest, not to tangent off into the Care Bear movie, but have you seen that movie?
No, I have not.
There is a demon in a book that tricks a kid into using black magic to take all the love and care out of the world.
I did not know this existed.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I knew it existed. I didn't know that was a part of the movie.
It's unfortunate. My ironclad memory for garbage. I can even sing two of the songs from the Care Bear movie, and I still to this day, anytime I meet someone named Nick, or if I have a friend, like a buddy, like I have multiple friends named Nick, I'm always like Nicholas, which is the villain talking to the poor kid. And never mind, it's completely tangential here. let me just point out that Don Bluth, his 3 films that he had released theatrically so far before this were The Secret of Nim, which only made $14 million, American Tail, which made about $80, and then Land Before Time, which made $85 and outgrossed Oliver and Company. And but he was failing. He still failed with that because of how much animation effort they were putting into those 3 films. It was much like what Walt went through in the past of, well, we need to make a hit. You keep losing all this money producing these films. You overly produce them, and you spend too much money on them, and we're not seeing a return. Don Bluth suffered the same issue. You cannot airbrush every frame of a film.
Right.
And then
then expect to have a return off of it because you're spending so much more cash just to make it. Yes, it looks beautiful. Yes, it'll always be known as being a very beautiful, gorgeous looking film. But at the time, we need the money there, Don. Can you give us the money, please?
And unfortunately, despite outgrossing with Land Before Time, the only thing Don Bluth could do after this point was make All Dogs Go to Heaven, which he did not want to do. He did not want to make a dog movie. But even after Oliver and Company, so about we're looking at 89 here, the highest grossing Disney movies to date, 101 Dalmatians, Lady and the Tramp, Fox and the Hound.
The 3 dog movies. Don didn't want to do that?
He did not want to do that because it was like, the world doesn't need another dog movie. You're right, Don. No one needs another dog movie. And I mean that to this day. Secret Life of Pets is a bad film. All right, so
I will agree. Well, moving on a slight topic change here, TC.
Yeah.
Now, I have a real serious hard-nosed question to ask you, TC. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this. Do you think we should have cast Bruce Willis instead of Billy Joel?
Oh, that is not where I thought you were going with this.
I know.
But you know what?
I know.
I do think they should have cast Bruce Willis as Dodger. Seriously, though, Bruce Willis has done voice work since Over the Hedge. He's the voice of the raccoon.
Yeah.
He's got a talent for it. And honestly, this was peak Bruce Willis, right? I mean,
right, because he's already released The Return of Bruno, so he's already released his actual album. First off,
so I'm sorry, it was not the peak of Bruce Willis; it was the downward spiral beginning.
Shut up. I know you were meaning Moonlighting as the TV show, and he won Emmys, and
Die Hard, right?
Well, we're gearing up into Die Hard territory at this point because it's he was already the Moonlighting star,
a year before Die Hard.
Right. So he was. It's the peak of Bruce Willis. It's not the downfall.
His star was rising, Jeff.
Back.
His star was rising. You're right, though. Bruce
we have
Willis,
yet to hit Hudson Hawk. That is the important part here, TC.
Bruce as Dodger? Hell yeah. That would have been.
Wouldn't that have been fantastic? He could have still sang the one song that he had to sing.
Why should I worry, huh? What?
Or just have Billy Joel still sing the song and have that be Dodger's singing voice.
You know what?
It would still have worked.
That is the Disney way, right? You cast a voice actor and then you cast someone else to be the singing voice.
Exactly. Go on to IMDb right now and open up both Billy Joel and Bruce Willis's page and flip between them. Their photos line up so well, and it kind of looks like the same guy. Man. Maybe just a little bit pudgier, Billy Joel.
Do you think that would have changed much of the film if Bruce Willis had been? Yeah, I don't think so either.
It wouldn't have, because all that it would have been is it would have been a, hey, he's popular cash grab at that point. That's exactly, it would have been a try to have been like, hey, he's big right now, let's get Bruce Willis on. None of the kids would have brought it, or would have come to it because of him. Also, he wouldn't have, honestly, he really would not have delivered any difference of probably slightly better read than Billy Joel, just because, as you mentioned earlier, Billy Joel isn't really an actor.
No.
He's a musician. I love his music. I love his music to death. Just he's not an actor. That's why if you, again, look at his IMDb credit, he's acted in 6 things, and 5 of them he appears as Billy Joel.
As himself.
As himself. This is the only time he ever did a character. And 2 of those things were for his music videos. Like, come on, guys, come on. He's not an actor. But having said that, and I really just wanted to bring it up because that's, when I first saw Dodger, I was like, oh, this totally would have been a Bruce Willis character. Because it's like, it's a New York guy. Come on, it's Bruce Willis. That's who you think of. At least that's who I think of.
You do a pretty good Bruce Willis, by the way.
It was nothing.
To tell
like
you the truth,
Bruce
if this, what? Yeah. If this movie had been in development just a couple years removed, then Bruce Willis probably would have been cast as Dodger. But because that's the way Katzenberg and Eisner thought. So Katzenberg ran the company much like I already commented on this, and let me delve into the history behind this film.
Okay,
that he did run it by the numbers. He ran it as this is how we make money. This is not how we make art, right? I know what I'm talking about. I made Beverly Hills Cop.
Jeez.
So
give the guy one hit and no.
And actually Eisner and Katzenberg would always take the credit for Beverly Hills Cop. They would always, it was me. It was not me. And it was not Jeff. It was me. Oh, don't listen to Mike. Don't listen to Mike. It was me. It was me.
It was me. It was totally me.
But in this Katzenberg era, so the way this movie came about was Katzenberg and Eisner would do. They called it their gong show. They would do pitch sessions, which I would love to work for a company that would do this, because what they would do is they would do pitch sessions. Anyone in the company, in fact, everyone in the company was required to come pitch films to them, and they would literally gong people out if they didn't like an idea.
Oh man!
Right. So they did this at Paramount when they were running things there, and so they brought it over to Disney. Another like glimpse behind the Hollywood curtain for a lot of these animators who had only ever worked at Disney. And the rejection rate was so high, but people started figuring out what they like. Like Katzenberg wanted modern day things. Fairy tales are done. No one gives a crap about fairy tales anymore. Give me something hip. Give me something cool. So the senior guys couldn't figure out how to pitch, but the younger employees did figure out how to pitch, right?
Okay.
And they wanted to take animation into a new direction, and the best way to do that is to bring in new blood. And a lot of the new blood pitched to their tastes and pitched to their ideas. So moldy old fairy tales is what they were called. They wanted smart modern stories for the 20th century. That's what's in. Pete Young, who was he was a younger animator producer at Disney. He was only about 30 in this era. And everybody liked this guy. He was one of those just super likable guys. He came up with the pitch of Charles Dickens with dogs set in New York City. And all he had to say was New York City and dogs. And Katzenberg was like, go on. This sounds great. This sounds great.
Because we totally haven't done anything similar to this in the past.
Another similar idea that almost got accepted here that were making their way around the room was a Hansel and Gretel with a Valley Girl perspective. So like Hollywood, LA, down and out in Beverly Hills. And see, right, you're groaning at that because that's such a dated idea. It's too close to the era it was in. Whereas something that was removed from the era, like Joe Hale, another oldie but a goodie at Disney, he proposed a World War II themed film that they were like, no, we don't. Come on, no one wants to see World War II stuff. Come on, get out here. In these pitch meetings, Ron Clements, who is a name that will pop up a lot throughout the Renaissance, he tossed out Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid and Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. Like those were his dream projects, and everyone was like, no, come on. What did we say about fairy tales? Get that garbage out of here. Well, he was like, you know what? I'm writing up a pitch anyway.
I have a feeling that kind of worked out for him.
Yeah, it worked out in his favor there. Huh?
No, a little bit. But you know what worked out better, TC?
What's that?
Of all the movies that we have watched
come on
so
now.
far, and all the terrible segues possible to get into this section, just so I could ask you first.
You've asked me first. Well, Jeff, I will answer you first, but I want to finish one last little anecdote, and this comes from the Mouse in Transition book written by Steve Hillett, who I recommended last episode. He pitched this. Just shows the kind of person Katzenberg was. This is really is telling of him. Steve Hewlett, who was an oldie, like an old school guy at Disney, he pitched The Man Who Would Be King by Kipling, who also did Jungle Book, and they just shot that down. They're like, no one wants to see a South American adventure film where a couple of guys get mixed up in thinking they're this, that, or the other. Dude, Katzenberg went on to make Road to El Dorado like 10 years later. You're completely like, hey, you know what would be a good idea? The Man Who Would Be King.
I wonder where he got that idea from.
It's just this amazing. It's the Hollywood yes. That's not a term that I don't know if anyone uses, but that's what I like to call it. It's the Hollywood yes, which is that's amazing. I love it. Yes, we'll call you. No, that means no.
No.
Yeah. So Pete Young is the one who pitched Oliver and Company, and over the course of developing this film, he worked his butt off on this film, and they would come in the room. Eisner would come in. Hey, no, try this. Roy Disney would come in. No, try this. Katzenberg would come in. No, do this. Constantly bombarding him with ideas, and even demanding a full storyboard presentation that Pete had to do himself. Pete Young had to do alone, and he hated everything about what he had to do, but he wanted to make this movie. It was his idea, and they just ran him through the ringer, and they treated him so poorly. Just this young, poor guy. They even took $500,000 straight out of the budget to give to Great Mouse Detective in the middle of production for this film. Because Great Mouse Detective was testing better. So they're like, sorry, Oliver and Company, here's $500,000 gone.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, see, and that would just be like, I'm sorry, what are you doing to my movie? And, well, I guess I'm done. Thanks. You can finish it. I'm going to be over here crying in the corner with
sad,
Dom DeLuise.
A sad ending to this is that Pete Young passed away at 37. He died very young, before Oliver and Company was even completed. his baby. And I don't know. I mean, it wasn't. I'm not saying this led to the end of his life. It's just that his life ended so prematurely for someone who was an inspired creator, the machine ate him up and spit him out like a lot of these Disney guys. But the young guys came out of this playing the game and knowing how to achieve art along with marketing. And that being said, where do I rank this in the grand scheme of things?
I am so glad you did not keep talking and hope to make me forget that I asked you first. I was waiting
Jeff,
for you
with
to then
all
ask
the movies we've watched so far.
No. I asked you first, buddy.
I think it's pretty clear. I mean, obviously we've been sitting here for this entire episode, and I've been. You can hear the tone in my voice. You can hear I'm not a fan of this movie, and whether it's because I know what was going on behind the scenes, and I feel bad for what the studio had become. But I want people to keep this in mind. I don't read any trivia. I don't read any background information until after I've watched the film. I want to form my opinion as cleanly as possible. And I thank you guys for tweeting theories and comments at me, but I save them for the most part until after I've watched the movie without any preconceived notions. But you've heard the tone of my voice. You can hear. You can tell.
I can tell.
Because of Bette Midler and kicking it with Georgette, and Why Should I Worry is a really good song.
Oh,
for those two reasons alone, I am putting this above Black Cauldron, but it is the second to last movie on my list right here.
Ooh, so TC putting it in at number 6.
Yeah, this is number 6, and I hate to belabor the point, but it's just there's something not great. There's just a lot of not great things about this movie where it's I don't know who the main character is. I don't know what's the direction this film wanted to take was. It felt like it could have used maybe another $500,000. I think that's what it needed, Jeff. Long story short, this movie could have used another $500,000 and it would have been great.
It would have been fantastic.
Where do you rank this guy?
Well, I am not far behind you on my opinions regarding the movie. It was definitely it was fun to watch. I liked Dom DeLuise's performance. I loved Sykes as the villain once I realized he was the actual villain. I liked a lot of the same reasons as you said. Like I like Why Should I Worry? It feels very much so like what I know of Disney songs, like shows, like movie songs that are coming up here in the near future with some of these movies that we're going to get to. It definitely did feel like that direction, and that made me happy. But at the same time, it wasn't. It wasn't enough to save it. I'm actually putting mine a little higher. However, I am also putting mine above the Black Cauldron. So I'm putting mine at my number 5 spot.
Okay.
Just because, it was fun, but the fun elements just was not enough to save it from. Billy Joel was not enough to save it, TC. And
he never is.
Like. The Stranger was the third vinyl record I ever bought because I love that album to death. I love Billy Joel's music. Not enough to save the movie for me.
Not enough to save the movie.
And unfortunately, nothing else. I agree. It could have used $500,000. Good point, TC. Very good point.
In the big picture, when looking at the library, I feel like this is a lessons learned film. You can see what can work in this. You really can see what works in this movie. If you really just break it down to its elements, there are the pieces here that they can then use for movies we're about to see in the future. But a lot of the missteps made in this film are dumb mistakes that they have made in their lesser films. Through the 20 plus movies we've watched so far, they should have known better. But it was this grinding machine that was a lot of the behind the scenes stuff really affected this film and trying to capitalize on the wrong things. This isn't what people wanted. You think this is what people wanted to see, but this is not what people wanted to see.
Right. And I think we'll explore a little bit more of that whole refining the film and refining the look and what people want. That's definitely when we start talking about next week's movie, because you can see, just like if you look at a lot of like the cast and the crew, on Oliver and Company, you start seeing very particular people are now showing up. Also, Oliver and Company had like 15 writers on it. Like if you look at like everybody who technically wrote it.
That story card is over a dozen people, which is
insane.
There's a problem right there. That is too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many cooks.
Right.
Too many cooks.
Oh, don't bring that back, please. Don't bring that back.
Well, if we look at our like lessons, if this is a movie for kids, yes, this definitely falls in the same category as Secret Life of Pets or something like the Minions movies or Sing. It's digestible. Sit a kid down in front of this. Cats, dogs singing. It's fine. They're gonna like it. This is great. But if in terms of like learning lessons from this film, no. Try to get a kid to experience the actual Oliver twist to create some sort of conversation to be had with a kid about morality and your place in the world, finding your place in the world.
And whereas like we've had movies in the past like Robin Hood and The Great Mouse Detective just recently where we were kind of talking about, hey, this could be a good like stepping in point for getting kids, if a kid's interested in this, hey, we could introduce them to Sherlock Holmes, or hey, we can introduce them to, like more of the fantasy Robin Hood stories. Whereas those movies kind of worked at being able to do that. This one definitely, there's no way I would ever go and actually make the connection of going, oh, it's Oliver and Company. It's like Oliver and Twist. You want to read a book? You want to read a book about this?
No,
not really.
I'll go see a play or watch a movie. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. But no, I definitely don't think this one worked in the same way as those other two films.
Yeah.
Potentially were able to kind of bridge that gap to older media. Mm-hmm. But I do really quick before we go any further or take any questions or answer any questions or wrap it up, depending upon just what we have. I do want to make a quick. I want to talk about the Disney tropes really quick and the Disney first for this one. So the Disney first, we'll do that one easier, or that would do that first. It's the first time that a different piece of music has appeared over the 80s 90s Disney logo. I wanted to clarify that.
The castle, the blue with the white castle.
Yes, because it wasn't the Disney theme. It was the opening score that was kicking in over the opening logo. And my other one is that it was a first song that was written by Howard Ashman. Who would be better known for producing and writing a lot of music for the next couple films that we are going to stumble across.
Nice.
So those are my first. Those were lesser, more technical sides. But my Disney tropes. All right, let's do this, okay? Disney tropes.
Yep.
Orphaned main character.
Yep.
Of course.
Oliver.
Oliver. The villain has animal sidekicks.
Yep, you got the two Dobermans.
And then finally, the main character's death fake-out.
Ooh.
Because that appears a couple of times. Because there's a legitimate moment where even though I'm watching it going, Oliver's not dead. No, he's not dead. Stop it. He's not dead. Look, he's not dead. But they do convey it as maybe he did die. Maybe he isn't coming
Oliver's
back. Like
gone.
Oh no, the character that isn't really the character in this movie is dead. What am I going to do now? It's going to just continue on with another Billy Joel song.
Look away, baby.
So those are my look away. It's okay. Those are my Disney tropes and my first for this particular movie. TC.
All right.
Do we have any questions? Any asks possibly from anybody out there?
Got a few comments from the Facebook page, so you can hit up facebook.com/topshelfpod. We toss up the episodes just to let you know we're recording. If you want to throw any questions at us before we record. Typically on Mondays, and then the episode recording, which you're listening to now, once it gets up, that will be a thread as well. So if you want to comment on anything we've had to say here, head on over there. But leading into the episode, we did get a few comments from some listeners. Andrea, thank you for listening. When she was little, her older sister decided movies would be sad, and then no one in the house was allowed to watch it. So movies on this list included Pinocchio and Bambi, Fox and the Hound, and Oliver and Company. So she only recently rewatched all of them with us. So thank you for joining us on this journey. And she feels bad because she felt like she had a heart of stone at first and realized that maybe her sister was being a little dramatic and that these movies aren't that sad. And so she watched Oliver Company and she didn't like it. She didn't like the time frame. She didn't like the background animation. She didn't like the story. And
so see, your sister was saving you.
She
from
was
something.
saving you, Andrea. She was saving you. This, but on the other hand, she did see Oliver Twist, a stage performance, a theater production, musical production of Oliver Twist, 8 to 10 times in one stretch of time because her sister was in the musical. So that also might play. But you know what, Andrea? No. That is not why you don't like this movie, because this movie has very little to do with Oliver Twist.
Man, sorry. I was sitting there thinking, I had something in my head, and it just fell out of my head entirely. I'm so sorry.
Maybe it'll come back. So, Allison Chickarell, thank you for listening as well. Allison is a very talented actress we've worked with on several productions. So, for those listening who are into some amazing short films, check out her work. And she opens up with big, fat capital letters, Bette freaking Midler.
True. Very true.
She admits that when she was 7 years old, she would sing Perfect Isn't Easy on the school bus while she was probably supposed to be caring about like the Backstreet Boys or something. But she did not do the actions because, Georgette totally plays with her supposed boobs at one point when delivering the lyrics.
Does.
Some minor adjustments, darling. But yet you know what, Allison? You were a super cool kid because you understood quality performance, and that's what Bette Midler was giving you.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
She said she would even sit and figure out the piano parts for you and me together whenever, or whatever the name of the song is that Jenny plays. She would play that.
No.
And she does a little name drop in here.
Oh.
This was her introduction to Dom DeLuise, who was actually a friend of her dad's. So it was fun to see his voice work before she actually met him for the first time. So the movie's kind of special for her for that reason, which... Allison, you knew Dom DeLuise? He's a legend. That's amazing.
Also, I'm glad that I didn't say, man, Dom DeLuise, what a jerk. I hate that
guy. And then she reminds us, and we did notice this in Why Should I Worry? There are some familiar looking pups such as Pongo and Lady.
Yep.
Although those movies take place in different time or different eras. So we'll just say that they are pseudo cameos. Right.
And they are time-traveling dogs. There will be a future animated dog movie Disney will release that explains the secret time-traveling of pets.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? If it was a DreamWorks movie, it would just be titled Time-Traveling Dogs.
Yep.
But if it was...
It's like, real original there. You might be one of those guys that, renamed the movies from
Oh, boy. Time traveling sure is rough. Am I right, guys? Oh, boy. Jeez.
Oh, don't give any ideas, TC. There might be people listening.
Yes, Allison.
People of power.
Yes, Allison. Poor baby Oliver at the beginning of the film. Definitely. That is
a
sweet, sweet sadness right there. And finally, we have one final comment from Wyatt. Wyatt, thank you for listening. And with Oliver and Company, Disney attempted to earn recognition with an older audience with popular music of the late 80s of Billy Joel and Bette Midler. And he's wondering why we think Disney went that way to put butts in the seats the way when later they went back to their Broadway Calypso Disney style pastiche flair, right? With Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. He feels that was contradictory for and a bit embarrassing for a children's film or because so you're not we did kind of touch on that they were trying to market funny. I don't know why they were doing this, but it's like I said, they learned lessons from this film and capitalized on what didn't work to create to go back to princesses. And there's something that Disney is very smart about, especially in their more recent films. They don't title the films with girly titles. The Little Mermaid has a girlish quality to it. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty, that's a Sleeping Beauty. And Cinderella, Snow White, like those all have very feminine, girlish connotations to them, right? We can admit that. But Frozen does not. Tangled does not. Because someone is smart enough to go, oh, hey, if we don't say princess movie, or if we don't have something that specifically says princess movie, we won't ostracize someone who might be like, that sounds like a girl's movie.
Right.
Yeah. So
we're kind of moving away from that era where, like we were talking back in the day, where there'd be, well, here's an animated film that was obviously geared towards girls, and here was one that was a little more geared towards the boys, and then back to the girls again. It's like, no, we're just going to be very kind of vague.
Yeah.
And just
they do still kind of let that pendulum swing. which is smart because they're playing to both sides of the market. But in general, I feel like, yeah, it was weird that they that they tried to use adults and whatnot. But at the same time, that can succeed when you look at, and not to look too far ahead, John C. Reilly was the perfect voice for Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that'll come out of the Laster era when we get there. Whoever his voice casting, like whoever's doing his voice casting, that person is a genius. So, but that is all our comments. If you'd like to tweet at us, you can tweet at me at TC's Big Head, or you can tweet at Jeff at Random Bell. Again, you can hit up the Facebook page to comment on any of the episodes we've posted, past, present, or future. And a quick plug for Lindsay and Colin. So check out the other Top Shelf podcast, which is going through the Oscar Best Pictures. Their most recent was Moonlight. No, what did it? They just did The Artist. That was their most recent one.
Yeah, and in case you guys did not see, I posted it a couple weeks ago or last week when it happened. But Lindsay and Colin are moving their show. Their show will be released on Fridays when they release them. Mm-hmm. Just because we were a little concerned with them coming out, they were releasing their episodes on Monday, which was in the same time we were posting that we were recording, and we didn't want people to lose sight of either show, basically. So we wanted to give Lindsay and Colin their time on the weekends, or actually Lindsay and I were deciding this because we went up north for Labor Day weekend. Actually, Colin was there too. The three of us were discussing it. Yeah, and we were brainstorming and talking about stuff and realized that would be best to move it to Friday. Yeah. So their show will be on Friday, so the whole weekend, and then we're there back on Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah, and one quick additional plug for our bonus content this week, which is my guest appearance on the Technophiles Let's Play, Technophiles podcast Let's Play, which is linked below here, as well as on Facebook or on Ghost Hat, where Jeff will post this. And let us know what you think of that, because we got a few more of those coming out, and I'm curious how people. It's a different style of content, and I'm curious how people react to it. So.
Well, I'm excited to watch and or listen to it as well, TC.
Well, I am excited to actually get you on the next time, because you were so slammed. There was no way to get you involved in the Let's Play.
I know, and I'm so sorry. It's been too busy.
Don't worry
life
about it.
Life has been tough.
Darn life, adulting.
Darn life getting in the way.
Let's talk about Disney movies. Let's.
Yay! It makes my soul feel nice inside. Speaking of Disney movies, hence this podcast. Also, King of Segways today's episode. This week.
Let's do it.
Next week's movie, TC.
Uh-oh.
Next week's movie. TC, I am very excited. Because I have not watched this movie in... I couldn't tell you the last time I saw this movie. Honestly. We're watching the 1989 Little Mermaid. We might, maybe,
little tease,
have a special guest for this episode.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say whether or not it's going to happen. It just all depends upon scheduling. If it does happen, you will hear special guest talk.
Yes,
when it happens. Otherwise, you'll hear me go, "Yeah, it didn't work out. Sorry, guys." And then I'll tell you who special guest was supposed to be. But we might actually have our first special guest for this show, mostly because I was told they were going to be a guest on this episode.
There was no arguing about it.
There was no arguing or asking. That's happening. So we're gonna try to make that happen for next week's episode. Hopefully, next week's episode will be next week. Hopefully, we won't miss much.
We won't do that to you again, guys.
No, that was totally last minute and just out of the blue, and we try to make it work. As it is, we're recording this episode the day before the episode goes out, just to make sure
they don't need no inside baseball, Jeff. We show behind the scenes and the production of the films. They don't need to know behind the scenes. All right.
But when do we do the podcast about the behind the scenes of the podcast that we do?
That'll be our special podcast that we create after this series is over.
Ooh, top shelf podcast.
That's right. All right, I think that about does it.
We're done.
Say your farewells.
Well, thanks everybody for listening again. Thanks for coming back with us, and we'll see you next time. TC, do the sign off.
Yes, I am TC for Jeff Bell over there. For all you listeners out there, saying thank you once again. We'll see you next time. And this is a very wordy sign off.
It is a very wordy sign off, but I'm okay with that. Bye.
Oh wait, no, we're still on Alabama.
Why should I worry? Why should I care?
I'm doing the Stevie Wonder rocking back and forth. I don't know why. I think it's the sunglasses. This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.